game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Welcome into another edition of the Post Game Pints podcast. Mitch Gallo, Sean Campbell. We're brought to you by La Brosse Brewery. Sean, what you got there? What are you drinking?
I'm having an Angry Gallo Ale, baby.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what it is about today. I just feel like I need a little pop. So I want a little bit more caffeine. I want a little bit of coffee as we do this episode. So I am going with the Angry Gallo Ale. As you can tell, maybe it looks like with my hair that I just woke up. It's just because I'm not wearing a hat. My hair always looks like this, and I have been awake for a while. But nonetheless, sometimes everybody needs a little Gallo in them, and I'm just going with a little Angry Gallo Ale. Look, I know the Campbell Play-by-Play IPA is an incredible beer, but I'm just letting you know, Mitch, that I don't shy away from promoting the Angry Gallo Ale, and it is. Oh, that smells so good. It goes down perfect.
It's all what kind of mood you're into and what kind of night you want to have. Very different beers, both of them delicious. And
Tom Fergus.
Saw that. But it's wrong edition of Tom Fergus.
Yeah, sorry. That was for the or via Apple Podcasts, you're going to have to see the video on that one. Oh, Tom Fergus, there's some good stories behind that one. Mitch, there's so much to get to here on the Post Game Pints podcast. And yeah, a shout out to La Brosse, because you got to go get your Campbell Play-by-Play IPA, get your Angry Gallo Ale. Hey, got to make sure you get it before they're all gone. Okay, so make sure you do that. Plus, check out their Lab Series. They just launched 3 more new beers just this past weekend. They're doing great stuff. Things are opening. Spring is here. I know that Alex and the gang and Troy and Catherine and Dan, they got big plans for the spring and the summer at La Brosse. And
can't wait, man. It's going to be great. Yeah.
It's going to be good. So Mitch, you want to dive into this?
Yeah, let's go.
Fire. Trying to do it this way with the Canadians. And we start with the Habs. Instead of saying who should they target and who should they go after, who do you think could be gone? Who do you think the Canadians can lose?
Well, off the roster, I don't think there's many players that would potentially be on the move. Sean, I'll give you a few names that I think are possibilities. And again, it's not a very long list, but I'll give you 3 players that I think the Canadians would be willing to move in a trade right now. Everybody else, I think is pretty much set on the team. I'd be shocked if we saw another guy get traded. And then, the prospects is another story. I think Caulfield is almost untouchable. In my mind, don't trade that guy. Goals are one of the hardest things to find. And he seems like he has that ability to score.
By the way, I'm so glad you brought up Cole Caulfield off the top. Stay tuned for today's math class.
So the 3 guys I'll give you that could potentially be on the move of Canadians. Now, I think they might want to keep Paul Byron around. And I think all the teams are going to be looking at this very closely as the expansion draft.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the reasons why, because he's an easy guy for you to potentially throw out there, and he might be a good, enticing player. But I think they'd be willing to move Paul Byron. I think they'd be willing to move Arturi Lehkonen, and I think they'd be willing to move Yoel Armia. Now, it's not to say they're going to move all these players, but I think if they liked what they had coming back in return, those would be the guys that if on the roster you needed to give up a player that can play now, those would be the people that they would look at.
Oh man, you did not go in the direction I thought you were going to go at all. Like Paul Byron,
Right.
I knew you were going to go Paul Byron. Paul Byron's been on everybody's list. It just gives them cap flexibility. And look, I'm the biggest Paul Byron fan out there. I think that there's still hockey there. I think it's been a frustrating season. I don't think that, a lot of people, start counting players out. I think if he did go somewhere else, he wouldn't be counted out. I think it's a tough role for him to play right now, to be an offensive producer. So I understand that it's tough to ship him out because of the money that he's making and the age that he is, but I still think he's a good hockey player that can play on any team in
Sean,
the
I think
National
all
Hockey
three.
League.
I think all three guys I said are
Yeah.
good hockey players. It's nothing
Okay.
against Paul Byron. I like him.
But I thought you were going to go the route of the two UFAs up front with Philip Deneau and Thomas Tatar and the defenseman on the back end and Victor Mete. Now, I definitely think Victor Mete can be moved because I don't know if they're sold. I think when Claude Julien had Victor Mete, he wanted him around. I'm still not sure if Dominic Ducharme is sold on him. And I don't know if you can get anything for him. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
That's why I didn't put him on the list. Because
but-
I think he could move. But I think Marc Bergevin isn't just going to trade him to trade him, and I don't see the Canadians getting an awful lot in return.
Yeah,
and I don't think they want to give up the depth that they have on the blue line because we see they're thin on the back end. You have the Sherratt injury, and all of a sudden the bottom end of the defensive core looks pretty bad. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think they're going to trade Mete.
All right, so then on that front, we go to the forwards. Deneau, I think we're on the same page. There's no chance they can't afford it. There's no, okay, I don't need to bring him up. Thomas Tatar is an interesting one because you mentioned Cole Caulfield. And if the Canadians believe he can come in and play in a top 6 or top 9 role right away, that's fine. Do I think Cole Caulfield could do what Thomas Tatar does? No, I don't think that. But maybe the Canadians feel that they need a roster player in, roster player out, and they can get some assets back. And I think he's a player you could get assets for at the deadline if you don't think you're going to be keeping him moving forward. So if you don't think you're going to win the Stanley Cup and you want to progress and you're not going to keep him in the offseason, you got to move him. I get that. I still think there's a strong possibility he re-signs in Montreal. I think he wants to. I think the Canadians want him to too. But it's about finding that price where he can come down, they can go up and meet in the middle. I don't know if that's possible in this offseason when they're bringing in these new guys that they think that that's ready. So I think that that's where there's a possibility more so than you get something in return and you're not going to have them. And you feel that if you do bring something in, it's not going to be devastation. You're not going to be, throwing everything away. Like if they threw Deneau away, they have nothing to replace him right now. And I think they have pieces that could replace Thomas Tatar, maybe not at that level. So I think that he's on that list.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if I think any trade with Tatar would be more of a lateral move than a move to get better. Now, I think they do think they can win, and I think they want to make themselves as competitive as possible in the playoffs.
But here's the thing.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Okay, but here's the thing. You garner some assets, and they already have assets with a Tatar trade. You just take those prospects or draft picks and you use them at next year's deadline when you think you're going to be at that next level. That's you're using that for a future trade. You're taking what you have in Tatar, and not that you're on par. You're kind of thinking ahead here. You're taking that second round pick or a third or whatever it is and be part of a package when you can really go after something at deadline next year when everything's a little bit normal and you feel better about your team.
I think they looked at trading him in the offseason last year. I don't think they found anything that they liked in return. And now I think they consider Thomas Tatar almost as their own rental. Like sometimes teams have unrestricted free agents, and if they're in a playoff spot, they keep their UFAs as in-house rentals. And I think that's going to be the case with Tatar. Sean, I'd be flabbergasted, shocked, really surprised if they brought him back next year. Not going to rule it out completely, but I'd put, the likelihood of that at under 5%. I think I think it's not even a matter of not liking the player. I think it's a matter of needing to free up a roster spot for Cole Caulfield.
All right, so those are the players we think it could move. We don't know what would be coming back for the Canadians here on the Post Game Pines podcast. Mitch, which North team do you think will be the busiest at the trade deadline in the next coming weeks?
What do you mean by busiest? Do you mean the most volume of players or the most significant player?
The team that I'm going to say, like, wow, they really made a move.
Yeah, it's going to be Toronto. 100% it's going to be Toronto. I put an outside chance at Winnipeg if they want to bolster their blue line.
That's my team.
Yeah, Calgary
Winnipeg.
might even try to get a second goalie in there to help Mike Smith, and that could be a significant move.
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Sorry, what I say?
Calgary.
No. Edmonton might want to bring in a goalie, and that wouldn't surprise me either. But I think Toronto, with the way Kyle Dubas has spoken as of late, pretty much all their top prospects are in play here. They see it wide open that they can make it to the Final Four at the very least. And I think they want to add an impact forward. So I'm going to say slam dunk Toronto is going to be the most active.
See, I can see the Jets. I know like Canadian fans are yelling about Matthias Ekholm. I could see Ekholm going to the Jets.
So yeah,
he would fit perfectly on that blue line. They need a player like him. They have kind of those guys with offensive touch. They need a little bit of a guy with a shutdown top four role. And he's signed for next year. And the Jets have such a tough time signing players. So when you could trade for a guy, you kind of have to give up those assets. And I think that that's a strong possibility that the Jets will do, because they also feel good about themselves after their last series with Toronto. And,
sure.
if they feel they're in the top four, and you can finish in second, third, or fourth, but you feel like you have Toronto's number, that's the team to beat, and you feel that you can get to the next level, then that's fine. You go for it, because then next thing you know, you're in the top four. And if you're in the top four, you're going to want to have a top four defenseman in Matthias Ekholm. And I just think that might be the more wow move out there, because I know that there's a lot of talk about the Leafs going for Granlund. I think that's a good fit, by the way. I think Mikael Granlund and the Leafs would be perfect, but I think Ekholm's a better move and would solidify the Jets perfectly.
Yeah. I think Toronto just sees a really big hole right now next to Nylander and Tavares, and they think that Granlund can be that guy. And I think you look at the Leafs top six. If it's Marner, Matthews, Hyman, Granlund, Tavares, Nylander, man, oh man, that's pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, I also think there might be a panic move from Calgary. Just they made the coaching change, but they made the coaching change and nothing has really changed. They still can't score, and they're losing to teams that they can't lose to. And I'm watching
them right now. Actually, that's why I keep turning my head.
No, I see it
Ottawa.
too.
It's going to be the fifth freaking time that they lose to the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, that's not good. I know it's not a good recipe to be making the playoffs in the North if you're losing.
Ottawa is supposed to be the free space on the bingo card.
Yeah, not so much. Got anything else for the rapid fire, Mitch, or do you want to jump right into math?
You're telling me about this Cole Caulfield math. I want to hear about this.
It's not Cole Caulfield math class, but I did the Philip Deneau math class not long ago. And Mitch, I think you're going to like this. All right.
Okay.
Me. We're a professional hockey player.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're getting at.
Okay. Give me your height and weight. If you were playing in the NHL, how tall would you be? How tall would you be? And how much would you weigh?
I would probably be 5'6", 175.
You're labeling yourself at 5'6".
Yes.
Okay, as a professional.
Yeah, well, maybe it's funny, right? What was John listed at?
I know that no, but I just know JP always says you could, when you're a certain height, you can add an inch or two. So
I added like a half an inch.
Okay.
So maybe what was Giunta listed at? Giunta
5'6". No, he was listed at 5'7" or 5'8".
Okay, I'm taller than Giunta.
Okay.
So 5'7", 180.
All right. So I want to take a look at small players in the National Hockey League. And the term small I'm going to use is 5'10", because we know what players are listed at. they're 5'8", they might be 5'9" listed, or 5'10". If you're 5'9", you're going to be 5'10". In the National Hockey League. So I started doing some math around this.
Yeah.
Started looking at some of these numbers, just because there's not many small players in the National Hockey League. They don't get drafted much. You know, they you're a number on a sheet, and nope, skipping over it, right? Like that is it. So I looked at a bit, and this is an approximation because there's some AHL players that jump back and forth in the National Hockey League. But it's roughly 7%, just under 7% of National Hockey League players that are 5'10" or under. 7%. It's not a very big number. But that doesn't mean you're not good, all right? Because when I look into the top scorers in the National Hockey League, they actually carry a higher percentage than the mean in the actual in the whole league. So that means the smaller players, they're going to be effective, especially when it comes to offense. So I'm looking at these numbers, and 7% of the NHL players are 5'10" or under. And if you look into the top 150 in the National Hockey League scores, 12% are 5'10" and under. 12% when you get to the top 100. 12% when you get to the top 50 in the National Hockey League. When you get to the top 20, it's 15% of the National Hockey League players in the scoring. Right now, I went to do it today, like right now, 15% of the top 20 are 5'10" or under. And of course, I'm looking at Brad Marchand and Alex DeBrincat. These guys are smaller players that are bringing it. So I'm trying to think, does size matter? Maybe not, but maybe size gives you that production. So then I've decided to go into the top 10, Mitch, because in the top, that's under or 5'10". He's actually 5'10", or listed as 5'10". You know, it's Patrick Kane. But when you get to the top 10, do you know what the average size of the players, of the top 10 players in the National Hockey League right now, Mitch?
The average size?
Yeah.
5'11".
6'2.5", 202 pounds. 6 of the 10 players are 6'3" or taller in the top 10 of the NHL scorers. 4. That's McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Kane, and Marner. But you got Rantanen, you've got Scheifele, you've got Kopitar, you've got Austin Matthews. You've got I read my own handwriting on that. It was a big B and then some scribbles after that. So it's funny. So 6'3", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3", 6'4", all over 200 pounds. 6'2.5" is the average size in the top 10 of scoring. I know that Patrick Kane's there at number 2, but McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they're shorter in the top 10, and they're 6'1" and 6'2". So yes, size doesn't matter, and you are an offensive player, but if you want to be an elite of the elite, the guys that grind it out and are top scorers in the National Hockey League, it's pretty insane that they're all just huge players in that top 10. I just thought you'd be interesting.
It's interesting for sure. And, again, for Cole Caulfield, the guy you got to look at is DeBrincat.
That's exactly it.
He's the exact same size, and he had a 40-goal season.
And you just got to make the right player too. Now DeBrincat gets a chance; he gets to play with Patrick Kane, right? Yeah.
But he can score.
Yes, he can, but he's one of the best playmakers as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So does Cole Caulfield have one of the best playmakers when he comes to the National Hockey League?
At this time, probably not.
That who knows? All right. So that was my little pop quiz. Not my pop quiz. That, of course, was math class. And I want to give a little shout out to Mitch, woofpacks.ca.
Woof, woof. Woof, woof.
Woofpacks.ca. And check it. It's a subscription service. And if you have a little puppy and you're listening to this podcast, I just encourage you to go check it out. You get a little monthly package, and it's not for you. It's for your puppy. And you tell them if it's a big dog, small dog, medium-sized dog, so they know that they can give the appropriate treats and toys to your dog. And then you fill it out, and then you just get a package each and every month, and it just gets delivered to your door. And you like to give little surprises to your dog. And this is in the world of COVID too, Mitch. Everything just arrives at your doorstep. This is perfect. Beautiful. And I know that Vader absolutely loves package. I know that Dave Trying to Do has been bragging about how much Freddie loved his package. So
Freddie,
just throwing that out there. Woofpacks.ca.
Woof 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 woof.
Shout out to Tom Fergus.
So what? Do you have a pop quiz?
I do have one for you.
Okay.
I do have one for you, and I'm curious. I was going like I had like 3-4 different angles that I was going at, and I don't know how I stumbled across this one. I was just thinking about it, playmakers, because just the numbers that Connor McDavid is putting up lately, it's pretty insane, assist wise and point producing. It got me reflecting back to the time, when you had 150 point seasons. Like, he's on pace, Mitch, for 144 points if it was an 82 game season. I don't know if he would have got it. I don't know what would happen, but with just 140 points, we got to 126 not long ago with Kucherov, right? These are things that I'm hoping more of. So I put this together, Mitch. I want to see how well you do on this pop quiz, brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. Check out their wings, and check out it in St. Anne's. Check out their app. Check them out on Facebook. Cunningham's Pub. They have the best wings, not in Montreal, not in Canada, not North America, in the world.
That's not close either.
No, it's not. I told you I went by the other day and I just got all these wings, and I ate wings for days. I'm
going this weekend.
Wings. I bought more wings than I should have bought for one day, but I knew that I would just wings. And then I ordered the extra everything I ate in the sauce.
Smart play.
Oh yeah, order the extra sauce on side. Not that they don't give you enough sauce. That was just for me, personal sauce for later in life. That's all it was. All right. So I want to ask you, Mitch, NHL assist per game for active players. NHL assists per game for active players. I have a top 10. I don't know if you're going to get them all. I think you could, but active players, NHL assists per game. I'm curious where you stand and where you can go on this one.
McDavid.
He is the number one answer, and that's where I started, right?
Yeah.
Because I kind of got to him. It's incredible. He's at 0.899 assists per game. Mitch, there's 3 people in the history of hockey that have more assists per game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about the 3 best players of hockey, that's who they are. You know which 3 I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's Wayne, Mario, Bobby, McDavid. That is it. So
pretty
assists
cool
per game, McDavid. I just thought it's like that's the only thing I really want to tell you. The rest, good luck and keep guessing.
Crosby.
Okay, so Crosby, this is the other interesting one, is 0.89 points per game, assists per game. He's at number 6 all time, right? So McDavid's 4, he's 6. Do you know who number 5 is? He's
number 5
assists per game. I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Do you know who number 5 is? I'm disappointed. It should be a very easy answer for you.
Forsberg?
It's Forsberg. That's the other thing I wanted to tell you. Now you can keep guessing. But I'm glad you said the number 1 and 2 in a row. Thank you. Good job. All right. Who else you got? I'm not looking at my phone. I have all the answers on my phone in front of me.
Marner?
Mitch Marner, no.
Point?
Nope.
Kucherov?
Nope.
McKinnon?
McKinnon was 11.
Draisaitl?
Nope.
Malkin?
Number 3.
Backstrom?
Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
You could start getting into some of the better passers of all time. Patrick Kane. Yep. There's one defenseman here that I have. One defenseman.
Oh yeah, there's a defenseman on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Carlson.
Yeah, that's the defenseman. And you're missing 1, 2, 3 more. One player you were just watching moments ago on the ice.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah, Johnny Gaudreau's number 10 at 6.16. So you're missing 3 more. I said 4, but you're missing 3 more. They're all old school players.
Old school players.
They're still active, but they're old school players. You got it. The other one. Big passes, assists.
Marlowe. Oh, sorry, Thornton.
Yeah, Thornton. And one more. Everybody forgets how many points this guy's accumulated, plus how good of a playmaker and passer he is.
Spezza?
I know you like him a lot.
Spezza?
No, it's not Spezza.
Stahl?
One more. No.
I like him a lot.
I know you like there, and then for season, he's kind of all over the place, and
Sounds like Spezza.
Yeah. He's been on the same team his whole career.
Oh.
I'm trying to give you some more clues here.
Been on the same team his whole career.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Seguin?
No,
he's not that old school.
Yeah, I mean, you'll say he's like, oh, he's not that old school, but he is in today's NHL.
Yeah,
the guy that I'm thinking of. And
Seguin hasn't even been on one team. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And it's Pop Quiz brought to you by Cunningham's Pub here on the Post Game Pints podcast. The category is NHL assists per game active. You got McDavid, Crosby, Malcolm, Backstrom, Thornton, Kane, Getzlaf, Carlson, and Gaudreau. You're missing one guy at 6.646 assists per game in his career.
Kopitar?
Nope, not Kopitar. Kopitar was actually number 12.
Oh.
Yeah, same kind of generation as Kopitar, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking at. Giroux?
That's the one. Claude Giroux.
Yeah, I like my Philadelphia players.
I know. If it wasn't, if you didn't say, if I said no to Giroux, you would have just said Voracek right after.
Yeah, but Voracek's bounced around.
Yeah, that's it for us here on the Post Game Pints podcast. Pop quizzes, some Montreal Canadiens talk. Cheers to LeBros for putting it all together, and to Tom Fergus.
Effin' Fergus.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
No.
Come on.
VBF.